So today I'm going to make a self-watering container for lettuces. So lettuce only needs shallow roots, so I'm using a very shallow pan. It's using one of these type of 2.5 gallon water jugs. I've cut it in half, like so. I cut out the little handles because of the indent. I drilled holes to let the air out. And I've cut a little hole for my, and I'll show you what we do with that later, but that's for the watering container. So these are going to make up the reservoir of water. As you can see, it's a little bit wider, so I added in some extra little jugs. Also, you see how it's got little areas, indents? That's where I'm going to pack in the dirt, and the dirt will act as a wick that will help wick the water up to the rest of the dirt. So that hole, what I've done is I've taken a soda bottle, I've cut off the bottom, and I made a little round place there. So when I fill this in with dirt, this will allow me to add water when the reservoir needs water. And I've drilled holes in the side. I don't know if you can see this. So when there's extra water, when it reaches those holes, it'll drain out, so the roots won't drown. And then this copper foil will help keep the slugs out. They don't like copper. Okay, so I've got everything in there. I'm going to take this out for right now. I'm going to start adding the dirt. This is a compost soil potting mix. I don't want to use just plain dirt from the garden. This stuff is already pre-mixed with fertilizer. So I just dump this in. In fact, I bet I could do this. I may have to go get another bucket. And what I've done is I've actually soaked it. I have a huge container elsewhere where I've soaked it overnight with water, because this is made up of compost, peat moss, and other things that will retain water, which is what you want. So it seems kind of wood chippy, but that's exactly the right kind that you want. So I add this around, and I pack it in pretty firmly, because that's what's going to help draw up the water. Okay, so I've got the dirt in, as you can see, and so since this is so shallow, I'm only going to plant things with shallow roots. And I'm going to divide it into thirds. 1/3 I'm going to plant some onions, green onions, and 1/3 I'm going to do some lettuce, and then in about 2 or 3 weeks I'm going to do some more lettuce. So here's my lettuce. It's a mix of different kinds. So I'm just going to scatter them. I'm going to do a lot of them all in the same area. And that's going to work out for me because I'm just going to keep harvesting them. This is going to be a pretty intense harvest area. And then onions. And there we go. So now I'm going to scatter some more dirt on top. Just very lightly. Just to cover. Then, now I have this little container here. This allows me to pour the water straight into the reservoir. I'll wash off my hands while I do it. And you just keep adding water initially. You add some and then you let it settle, because it's got to get through the rest of the container until it starts coming out of the holes. So this should take about maybe 3 gallons of water. And the great thing about this is that whenever the plants need water, they can get it immediately. So on those hot days when you're at work, they're not going to dry out and die. And that's it. So in a few weeks I should have some lovely lettuces. Later this summer I'll have green onions. And then when I've used these lettuces up, there'll be these ones. And then I can replant this area as well. And that's it, a self-watering container garden.